Hi everyone and welcome to Watermelon Living. So today I wanted to do a quick little video as to how I make my inserts for my traveler's notebook. So I like to customize and personalize my inserts, pretty much saying how many pages I'll put in my bullet journal. You can put little envelopes in there if you want, just if you want more storage capabilities. And then I also do this type of little pocket for my inserts. So this right here that I'm making is an A5 size, and one of the things that I like is I don't know if you can see here, but these are dotted pages, and so I absolutely love dotted pages, so that's why I decided just to go ahead and start making mine. This one was my December cover, and I absolutely love the white and the gold. So, but if, say, you don't want to make them, they do have some I've seen on Amazon. This one's a different size, and I just didn't feel like ordering some from Amazon, so I just decided, hey, I'll just go ahead and make my own, and it's cheaper, plus I can customize it more. So one of the things, so this right here is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper that you use for scrapbooking. There are some that have like the double side on there, but this one's just a single side. So this is a nice, really pretty one. And so as you can see, I can just customize my inserts whichever way I want. So this is a 12 by 12. So any scrapbook paper you like, you can go ahead and use that. This is a little bit thicker too, which I like. The next thing is that you'll need to make your inserts is the paper. So pretty much I've already folded these pages in half, just because it just makes things a little bit simpler. And these are my dotted sheets. So what I do is I take legal size paper, since I'm making an A5 size. So I get legal paper that I've printed double-sided, and all I'm going to be doing is just putting each page within itself. Okay, so once all of them have been put into one another, the next thing that I do is I already have this line already drawn out, so that's going to be the top of the line. You can cut this using scissors if you like, or you can use this big thing right here. So this gives a little bit of a cleaner line whenever I cut. So I'll go ahead and quickly cut that. Alrighty, so now I'm back. As you can see here, I have now cut the cover of the notebook. So as you can see here, this is pretty much the correct height for it. So this I like to save so that I can go ahead and make the little pockets inside my notebooks. So the next thing that you do is you go ahead and fold this in half. And what I like to do is use any sort of pen or anything just to help with the crease. And so once this is done, I'm going to go ahead and put it the direction that I want, and I'll put that with this. So as you can see here, that this is shorter than these. The reason why you want to do that is because you want to take a a box cutter. You want to take a box cutter, and you're going to cut along this line, so then that way whenever you have it closed, you have this looking, even though mine's not super straight, but it doesn't look, I don't know if you can tell with this, how the pages are angled, and they don't look super straight. So this just pretty much just evens it all out whenever you use a box cutter just to cut those. And the way that I do that, well, I'll let y'all know once I get there. So once you have this measured out, what I like to do is I have it open to the middle. And so then that way it's sitting all nice and pretty. So another thing that you're going to need, and so this right here is a template that I have. So it has where I'm going to be poking the holes. And so as you can see here, it has where I'll be poking the holes. So pretty much what I did was I folded a page in half, and then I did it in, I did them in thirds, folded this over, and then I folded this over, and then that's where I did my holes. And so on those, you just draw a circle or you do an X on the line because you want to fold them in half as well. And so this, and I'll put a T, so then that way every time I make a notebook, I have the top is always the same. And so I'll take my book and I'll put that right there on the crease, and I will take these clips and clip them right at the top. So let me just make sure first that everything is even. Alright, so the next step is you will need one of these. So what this is, it's called a metal owl, which is AWL is how it's spelled. So I found this at Hobby Lobby. You can find these on Amazon as well, but pretty much it looks like an ice pick. So what it is it's sharp, so it's going to help you poke holes through that. So I will just go ahead and start in the middle. And so you want to make sure that you keep your fingers away from the crease. And so as you can see right here, I just go a little bit further just because you are going to need your needle to go through. And then I'll do the next one. Just remember, safety first. Make sure you know your hand placement at all times. And so what I found was the easiest way to help get this through is just twisting motions. It helps for it to go through all those pages. And I think I have 15, no, I think I have maybe anywhere between 15 to 20 pages. I've done 30 pages before using this. Alright, so once that is done, I'll take these clips off. And then one thing that I've done before is I've forgotten to take this off and I started doing the needle. So I will go ahead and paper clip this or binder clip it again, just to make sure that my holes don't move or go anywhere. Okay, so now as you can see here, I have my booklet. So what you're going to need, if I can find it, is a needle. So this, alright, so as you can see right here, you just need a embroidery needle just so that, you know, it's small enough just to go through the holes. And so I'll go ahead and show you all how to do the stitching. So what I have here is just a white ball of yarn. It's not super thick. It's not the kind that you'll use for scarves. It's just, I'm guessing, more for embroidery. It's not the one that you really use for sewing either, just because the one for sewing I think would be too thin. So, so you put, so I don't cut a piece of yarn or thread off. I just go ahead and just leave it on there. And so let's get this through here. As you can see, it's a pretty large needle. It's good enough, it's enough to be easy to put that through the eye. And so I just do like, I would say about a foot. That's how much I would just leave. I would do about a foot, and then you can go ahead and start your stitching. So the way that I do it, I start in the center with the book open, and then I just go ahead and put it through, and then turn it around and pull the needle through. One thing to remember, and the first time I did it was I did not pull the yarn all the way through. You want to make sure that that other piece, this piece has gone through the hole. And so you have that. And so I will be going down. So I'll go to the second from the bottom, and then you have it go all the way through. Turn it around, and you'll pull that through. And then remember to pull that other thread through as well. And then you go through the last one. Okay. Alright, and I'm trying to get, okay, there. So now that other thread has pulled through. So now you want to go through back from second from the last. So you go through that same hole. That's why you want to make sure that the hole is large enough so you can have, so that your needle can go through while you have that yarn there. And it's getting all tangled. All right, and one trick that you can do is just have your needle and just push it down on the top of the table, and that'll help it go through. And so again, make sure to pull that thread through. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna skip the middle, and you're gonna go second from the top. Put your thread through. Okay. And so now you're going to go through the top. Okay. Now you can move your needle up a little bit. So now you are going to go through the second from the top again. Let's see if I'll have enough string. Okay. All right, it went through. Then moving this a little bit further up. And then now you can go through the center. But before you go all the way through the center, so you just put a little bit through. Let's turn this back around. You want to make sure that you are on the other side. So, and what I mean on the other side of this. So you just need to move the center string over, and then you're able to go through. And so now I'm ready to pull through and then take the needle off. And so I'll set this aside over here. So now what I'm left with is two strings. And so what I do is I will go ahead and just do a double knot, or you can do a triple knot, whichever one you decide. There's my 3 knots. So then you get your scissors, and then I would say I would leave about an inch. You can definitely cut it shorter, but I wouldn't cut it too short. I would say anywhere between 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And so then, as you can see now, I have this small little bit of excess string, and then I have all of this. So then that's still attached. So that way you don't waste that much trying to gauge how much you actually need. So now I don't need these binder clips anymore. I'll put these to the side. And so now I can go ahead and close it. So here is my book. So sometimes I will put a little cover sheet on here Let me see, do I have it on this one? Yes. Sometimes I'll do like this kind of tissue paper looking. I'll do that, and that's if I have a cover, and just to make it look nice. But this time I decided not to do that. But now I'll go ahead and make the pockets. So what I like to do is go ahead and fold this in half. And so the next thing that I am going to do is, as you can see, it's half, but you don't want it to be exactly half, because then it'll be difficult for you to add the pocket. So what my plan normally is I normally take off 1 inch, and then I will cut like a little edge on it. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so as you can see, I went ahead and cut off, let's see, I would say about 1 inch. And I also cut them in half. And so then what I'll do, as you can see here, this is a really good size. So now what I'm gonna do is just kind of round this edge. So now I have my rounded edge, and I will show you all. So there you go. And here's the pocket now. And so what I'm gonna, so what I'll do is I'll take some just regular Scotch tape here, and I will tape the edges, and that'll keep it put. So what you might be asking is, what do I do with this excess paper? So what I told you was that I use a box cutter, and what I also do is I use a ruler to kind of help guide. I would definitely suggest using a metal ruler for this. I have a plastic one, but what I do, I don't cut it on the table. All right, so this is a lot closer. And so what I do is I'll take this box cutter, and I will just continue, make sure that there isn't any of that cover showing, and then I'll just continue to cut down this line, and this will continue to take some of these pages off. As you can see a little bit better, you can see there's that weird angle to it. So if you pre-cut these and then did that, you would have this weird angle whenever you folded them and put them together, because it's so many pages. So the reason why I say use a metal one is because sometimes your hand might slip a bit. You might be right on the ruler, and you can actually cut the plastic ruler, and then your lines won't be straight. So definitely, definitely use your judgment. Be safe. I like this right here, having this there, because I can keep my hand a safe distance away from the box cutter. So remember, hand safety at all times, so that you do not hurt yourself or cut yourself. But another easy way of doing this, if you don't want to use a box cutter, is you can get a good pair of scissors, and then just pretty much use this as a guide and just cut down. And then go to the next page and cut that straight down. That, to me, you could do it this way, or whichever way, and I think that is the safest way of doing it, is using just a pair of scissors and then just cutting them all the way down. Or you can use one of those just different types of paper cutters. There are some people that do have a more safer paper cutter than a box cutter, but I use a very thick box whenever I use my box cutter, just to protect any furniture that I have, things like that. So I will go ahead and cut these pages, and I'll be right back. So as you can see here, the pages are pretty even with the cover. There's a little bit of the page showing back here, but I think for it being homemade, it looks pretty good. So one of the things that I forgot to mention is how to add another little envelope if you want it. just kind of thrown within your insert. So pretty much what I did is I went ahead and cut off that little flap that closes the envelope. I went ahead and cut that off, so then that way you had something that was open, and I pretty much just put it in the back of all of the pages, and then whenever I opened it up to do, to put in the holes, I just did that all the way through and then just pretty much followed the same steps. So you can put, you could put the envelope back here, or you could put it in the middle, or you could even put it anywhere within the notebook. You just have to put it in, just put it within the pages, and then make sure that whenever you're punching the holes, that it's secure and it won't move. But for me on this one, I didn't want to put any. So just kind of a little bit of a, a recap on how to do the stitching, because I know I might have gone through that a little bit fast. So you have it open, you have your binder clips, you put it through the center. So we'll go ahead and call from the top is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll put it through, you have it open, you'll go through 3, you turn it around, you'll go through 4, you'll turn it back around, you'll go through 5, turn it around, you'll go back through 4, you turn it back, then from 4 you go into 2, turn it around, you'll go through 1, then flip it back over, you'll go back through 2, flip it back over, then you will go through the center. And so the center, like I said, you have to make sure that wherever the string is, original string, you have your needle going on the other side. So then that way you can go ahead and tie them together, and that will go ahead and seal your stitch so that your book stays together. So the final step on mine is to tape on tape these on. So I will go ahead and do that. So I just use Scotch tape just because I feel that that will keep it together a lot easier. Alright, so here is my little pocket, and so I will go ahead and do that for this side, if I can find it. Here it is. So here is my insert now, my customizable insert. Again, you can do different colored pages in here. You can add a lot more envelopes in here so that you can have more storage. You could do, you could add more pages if you wanted, but again, I've done 30 pages, I think, so that might be another 10 pages from this, but I just don't do them that thick, and so now pretty much it is ready to go in my traveler's notebook. So here is my traveler's notebook. Here's the card from Foxy Fix, which is where I got my traveler's notebook. So, just open up in the center, get the elastic, put it through, and there you go. So now I am ready with my traveler's notebook. So hopefully, my lovelies, that you all enjoyed this little tutorial on how to make your own customizable, beautiful traveler's notebook inserts. Again, this is how I like to make customizable ones. It saves money. It's pretty fast once you learn how to do the stitch. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe to the Watermelon Living family, and hopefully you all find this very useful. If there's any other ideas that you all want, feel free to leave those comments down below. I will see you all later, my lovelies. Bye!